Hi there. Let's take a look at Litecoin. To see where the price goes next, we'll cover the weekly Wyckoff structure, map out the short-term trend, so you know exactly how market momentum is shifting right now. From a Wyckoff perspective, Litecoin is currently in the panic over stage of selling climax in the accumulation cycle. Accumulation cycle are these orange tags, all right? Distribution are the blue tags. So as of this moment, it is building an initial or short-term bottom. Not saying that it's the cycle bottom, because a lot of times during the accumulation cycle, subsequent tests can go deeper than the initial selling climax. All right, so that's the tricky part of the trade. Here, what we are expecting to come next is something called automatic rally. Usually, you see consecutive white bars or higher than average white bars coming in, setting the trading range top for the accumulation cycle, like what we see over here in 2024. So that's the stage we are looking to see. So the volume itself is pretty normal. No big commitment from the bulls and bears, staying average. This is education content only, not financial advice. And now let's dive into the daily chart and see the short-term trend. Here, Litecoin is going through a rising channel. So you see this blue box here after that crazy drop. Now it is slowly climbing. Some people would say this is like a bear flag, like what it did back in February all the way to beginning of May before that massive drop. Okay, it seems like it is doing something similar now. So it's time to bring up this comparison. Bitcoin, the blue line is Bitcoin itself, and then we have Litecoin for comparison. Why I'm bringing in Bitcoin? Because we want to see when Bitcoin bottoms, does Litecoin follow? All right, so we go back to first 2019, 18. Okay, this period, Bitcoin bottomed. All right, around November 2018, Litecoin followed. All right, notice that sideways period, right? Sideways period. And then when Bitcoin dropped, Litecoin dropped very steep. Fast forward to 2020, right? Likewise, Bitcoin dipped to its lowest point, Litecoin followed. And how about 2022 to 2024? Here, Bitcoin sideways dropped to the bottom. Litecoin this time did not follow. All right, so 2-1. But the risk is that if Bitcoin really drops this time, 66% of the time, in the 3 cycles we compared, Litecoin follows suit. So there's still downside risk if Bitcoin hasn't bottomed out yet. All right, now back to the rising trend, even if it is a bear flag. So what we see here is that it is testing the $46 yellow T level as the immediate resistance, and the support is the channel bottom before it hits the $40 key support level. However, in the daily chart, we would see short-term support. So if I draw a line over here, that's where it is. So right here, it's still below the channel bottom. So that's the situation right now. This is around $43. Okay, you see these candles finding support and these finding resistance, support. So when we dive into another time frame, the situation would be a little bit different. And as of now, it is still trading along the weaker half of the ascending channel. It is taking the opportunity, trying to break through it. But in case the bulls fail to ride on this momentum of 5 consecutive days of positive movement and get rejected back to the channel bottom and trade along this triangle, when we get closer and closer to the 9th of September, there's something called the 2C's decision point, meaning either it continue with this uptrend, breaking the $46 yellow key level, or it comes with a change of trend, breaking this uptrend support. Let me know in the comment where you think whether it would be a continuation or a change, or is it going to break even earlier? Because besides the channel rate of ascent, there is actually another very short-term trend. Let's say if these candles we have over the past few days forms a very quick ascending trend, it is actually getting to the point where the 2C's decision kicks in even sooner than the beginning of September. All right? It is pointing towards the 10th of August, exactly in a day or two's time. So that's why you see this cross that's flickering right now. The bulls and bears are battling around the $46. If the bulls fail, that's when it breaks this support, this trend support, and then comes back to test once again whether they're able to gain momentum to push further. Okay, and besides the $43 line, there's one short-term level here. You see these candles either open or close at that level. So these kind of past activities gives us an indication that around $45, that's another short-term level that's lying around. Actually, it's slightly lower than 45, so let's make it more precise. But you can remember that's around $45. Okay, you see now it's aligning all those pretty tight. All right. Remember, you can see this video 2 days earlier being a channel member. So join the existing member now. See you in the next one. Thank you.